Croeso, Shemai. This is the Chalk of our three Welshies chill talking about the things we love in pop culture, comic books, gaming, you name it, we're going to talk about it. So my name is Neon Tinted Tom. I got Rob and Chad here. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, all good. Really good.
Yeah. Had a good week?
Yeah, weather's beautiful.
Yeah.
I know, when I'm wearing a bloody 80 ski jacket inside, what am I up to? It's crazy.
I thought it was a shell suit for a second, shell suit top.
Well, I thought I'd keep to the namesake. You know, if I'm going to self-proclaim myself as Neon Tinted Tom, I may as well dress like it. You know, so I'll suffer for my art. So so it's been a bit of a fun one. But on 19th of September, it was Batman Day, and we're some big Batman fans. I presume we are, anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Come on, give me some enthusiasm, Chad. Tell me, how much of a Batman fan are you?
To be honest, though, it all sort of stemmed across from the Batman 66 for me. Yes, before then I was reading the comics, and one of the first comics I picked up of Batman properly, and I really sort of got into it, was Sandman. Read that sort of series.
Oh, okay.
And the Many Deaths of Batman. And I loved the Many Deaths of Batman because the first issue, it's not because it had any words or anything like that. It was just literally like, you see Batman, he gets killed, and you see another person, and you see all this happening. It's like it's got no words in it whatsoever, and that for me is what drew me into Batman. And then I started going on from there and finding other characters, but that was like my jumping on point for me.
Yeah, Rob, how about you? Where's your jumping on point?
It's hard to think. I mean, obviously the films for me, like the Keaton films. It's weird sometimes when you think about it, because obviously Batman's just there, isn't he? Once you're born, it's not as if you have to go look far for it. You know who Batman is, the same as you know who Superman is, only. It's just hard to know when it gets picked up. And obviously the toys off the back of that were amazing, and the computer game. If you remember, I had it on the Commodore 64.
Oh, I had it on a Spectrum.
I'm not going to lie. A little bit before my time.
But it was great. I think it was only about 5 levels. You had the first one was side-scrolling. Second level was in the Batmobile, where you had to hook onto the lamppost to turn around the corner.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Third, I think, was Batcave, like a puzzle.
Do you know what it was? It was making Brand X.
Yes.
Using the chemicals, because you had to work out what combination of chemicals that made Brand X. I love that.
And the next one then was the Batwing, wasn't it? And you had to cut the balloons.
Yes, you had to go round there to cut the balloons off.
And then 5, I think, went back to the side scroll. I can't remember now.
It was technically side scroll, but it was climbing up the tower, the actual church spire, and then go after the Joker.
Simpler times.
I remember playing that. On the Atari ST, and because I had it on a Spectrum, loved it on a Spectrum, but it was lacking so much. And I played the 4 3D Batman games. It was like a platformer, but done like that on a Spectrum.
Okay.
But it was more like the classic Batman, and as well, so that was good.
Going back to the classic Batman, the TV series, the things that made me laugh was the explosives they used to use on set.
Amazing.
And you can see they're literally, even the actors are like this, when they've blown through a whole wall, or like a massive hole has been, it's just, it must have been crazy times. No health and safety whatsoever.
Oh, well, no.
It's just like with you, Tom, when I first met you, and you got me to listen to the podcast it was Kevin Smith. He had Burt Ward.
Ah, yes.
And they were saying about balsa wood, and it's like, what was he said, because he nearly died when he, what was he, when he Batmobile came out of the thing for the first time, because he had a stunt driver, and he goes, oh, where's my stunt driver? Oh, he's talking to Adam West over there, and he's actually doing the actual stunt, and he breaks his finger by clanging on as the door swung open, and the whole thing about the balsa wood, and he said, he said, the set design, or the stunt guys, because it's going to be bad when the actual the people working on the actual chippies got, was it alcohol in their breath or something like that? And it was and he actually got taken to hospital as well, because he got he had some second degree burns, didn't he?
Well, that's the thing with that whole series, though, with Burt Ward. Like, obviously, he was a grown adult by a certain time of the filming, and he had to. The producers had to reduce his what's the PC
bulge.
word? There we go. They had to reduce his bulge
By
because
using
obviously
pills.
Oh man, that's mental!
I know.
Absolutely mental.
You think
was
was
it the church or something? The church or something in America. They complained about his genitalia
being too prominent.
Oh my god! And it's like, is it safe to take these pills? He's popping them in it. I couldn't believe.
Can you imagine if you?
It's a bit of tape, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a bit of tape. Just push it down.
Dude, we all watch RuPaul. We all know how to tuck, right? That's all I'm saying, right? That's all you need. Just learn how to tuck.
Different camera angles. Like
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I think what we should do is find that podcast online or whatever and put the link below so people can listen to it.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Burt Ward.
Yeah.
I loved him anyway. But but listening to him and talking about his affiliation on the show, how he got the part and all that is absolutely comedy gold. You cannot make stuff up like that. You just can't.
No, it's the Fat Man on Batman series before Kevin Smith.
I thought it was Hotel Babylon or something Babylon with you had Ralph.
Could have been Babylon.
It was the launch. It was like a week before the launch of Batman 66 on
the comic.
No, on Blu-ray.
Blu-ray, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'll put the link down there anyway because that's basically how I got my comic knowledge early on, was just listening to Kevin Smith's podcasts. For me, what I was going to say, like just echoing and finishing off what you guys are saying. You were saying about Batman being just ever present, always there. For me, my brother is 4 years younger than me. My parents, as a bargaining chip on his birth, said that he brought me what I'll put on screen over the top of this, a Batman costume. So at the age of 4, I had this, dress-up Batman costume, and it always stuck with me ever since then. But not only going to talk about Batman, even though it was Batman Day on the 19th, and we're all a bit Batman crazy, we got some other to talk about as well, haven't we? So let's move on. We've got the 5 sections of talking. We've got the comics, hot topics, Auditorium, we've got the Let's Play and the Kryptonite Delights. So let's start off with the comics. It's going to be Batman Day themed. Give us some of your comic highlights of Batman. Some of maybe your top picks, some artists you like working on. Rob, start me off. You're the expert here. Pause for effect.
I will say with Batman, it's too much to choose. Like choosing a film for Netflix.
Totally.
It's just a minefield. But like to grab out certain issues, obviously, or certain runs. Definitely Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale's run, which was the Long Halloween, Haunted Night, Dark Victory. And also they did a Catwoman follow-up, When in Rome, which is also just as good. I love
that. I really enjoyed that.
Then the classic, obviously, Year Ones, Killing Jokes.
Yep.
Under the Hood. Just ridiculous amount. I mean, great moments in comics with Batman for me is kind of just like the funny moments. Yes, there's some good scenes. Like if you remember the the Talon versus Batman battle in Court of Owls where they have a fight over 2 issues.
Do you know, I love that whole series, man. New 52 gets a lot of but at the end of the day, that was my jumping on point when it came to comics. And I love that Court of Owls for a completely new, and it seems like the Batman with Matt Reeves seems to be going Court of Owls as well. So that's going to be quite interesting. But going back to you, dude, I do apologize. Just got a bit excited.
No, it's fine. Completely agree with that. I mean, it's definitely up there.
It's good
with
stuff.
The top list, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I remember remember Killing Joke, where there was a moment where Batman actually laughed or smirked.
It was the Joker. But I know that joke.
Just little bits like that. I quite like in comics. I also like the if you think of all the people he's fought, even in the Marvel universe, when they used to do the crossovers. He's fought Cap.
Yeah.
He's fought Hulk.
Yeah, he fought into a standstill, didn't he?
Dude, he fought Predator. He's fought Predator.
And aliens.
Yes.
In that one, it's Superman, Batman v Aliens and Predator.
Oh,
and he gets
mad.
At one point, Batman gets captured by the Predators, And meanwhile, Superman's trying to like deal with some shit. Nothing, strenuous. By the time Superman's come back, Batman's in charge of the whole tribe of predators. It's just like, so yeah, like amazing, like so many like brilliant moments of Justice League as well, International, with Guy Gardner, their relationship with him just like punching him, and it's never ending with that guy. Like, I'm amazed they have new things to do, like to think of with this character.
Well, you think of how old the character, how long it's been ever present in the public consciousness. It's arguably one of the most recognizable sort of symbols in pop culture. You can ask your nan, you can ask a kid, you can ask someone that, whoever, someone's going to know. They know the symbol. Same with lots of different stuff, but it's up there with your Coca-Colas and everything else, isn't it?
And the same with songs as well, like Beatles songs, ABBA songs. It's like stitched into our DNA somehow. Yeah. It's just weird how that right. just. I mean, for example, my nephew. This is going back ages ago, and he was like, he's never seen an episode of 6 Batman. But he knew no, and he started doing all that and the power, the spats, and he just knew it, and he's never watched it. It's just weird. And it's
my girl's like, it's playground stuff, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah,
everyone sort of knows, and the different rhymes that come with Batman, and it's just.
Even the Christmas song as well.
Yeah. Where did that originate from? It's just mad.
No,
isn't it?
I really don't know. But I always like the, what was it? The robot chicken bit as well. He goes, do I really smell? He gets a kid. He gets up on his arm.
Those shows, man. Robot Chicken is so, like, I know a lot of people love it, but there's so many people that haven't seen it. And it's
so good.
The commentary it has is brilliant. It's so good. But Chad, tell us some stuff about, the comic stuff that you've loved over the years with your Batman, some of the artists you love. And come back to you as well, Rob, but, who are some of the artists that you like the look of?
Well, I'm always going to quickly go for my artism. I always like the Jim Lee, because, what... Just phenomenal.
So good.
He said about what's the guy? I can't remember the actual one who did the Killing Joke. I can't remember the guy's name.
Brian Bolland.
Yeah, thank you. His was almost like it's like taking it back to the classic, but not too classic. But it was just a nice touch. Loved that. Really enjoyed that. Favorite stories? Dark Victory. Year one, I like my Killing Joke. I even liked as well where he just had the bit, just the one on the Joker. I know going away from that, about the Asylum, just when it was just the really sort of rough artwork.
David Keane, I think, was it?
Yes, thank you. That really resonated with me, and like I said, one of my earlier ones as well. The many deaths of Batman. I would say that first issue had no words in it at all because it kept you guessing, and then. That was really good. I really enjoyed that a lot. Death in a Family. That was a massive game change, really, for me. Those are like my core ones. I really enjoy. I got like all the crossover stuff, and I love my crossover. I love my aliens. I love my Predators. So I love all that. Yeah. And if you got a second time as well, you can always link in the YouTube bit as well to where you had Batman, or was it Batman World's Finest or something, Dead End. Sorry, Batman Dead End, when he fights against like the Joker, then the aliens come in, the Predators come in as well, and that just blew my mind just seeing that as well. So
I was going to say,
those my bits.
You were saying about Jim Lee, right? Jim Lee, the way he draws Batman, he has a wonderful grasp of like the proportions of what I believe Batman aesthetically should look like, and I think it's an underrated book, and a lot of people have never really come across it. And I think he did the majority of it. He did the covers, and he had a little bit of hand in. But Batman Europa came out a couple of years ago. Rob, I would have bought it off yourself back in the day. I just think underrated, man. It's a cool concept. Basically, Batman and the Joker have to work together to find, kind of a mystery to find out who was basically poisoned them with this toxin, and ultimately who has the only cure. It's very, very small. And it's it's so beautiful to look at. You know, it's the same as like Batman Damned. That's another book which, you know, it's recent, so a lot of people will be like, oh, you're only jumping on the crazes and stuff like that. But I gravitate towards really well, just artistic looking stuff. You know, obviously in terms of Batman, you know, Alex Ross has done some great work. I've got a paint, you know, a print up on the wall of the Alex Ross style Batman, which is really,
well, the covers that he did during the RIP run were just phenomenal. Like,
yeah. Oh, just because again, that's what drew me towards the medium, is the fact that, you know, a lot of people, they go, oh, comic books are just, you know, doodles with capes. And when you actually look at, no, exactly, that's it. When you actually look at these, they are artistic pieces of work, you know, every single one of them, even the ones that are drawn for the children, you know, that is simpler, aren't as graphic, all that kind of stuff. You know, they're still works of art, all of them. There's a lot of time gone into them. So, yeah, I love a lot of these newer sort of. I'm drawn to the newer stuff.
I think we're spoiled. I mean, I'm not. You know, if you think about the guys like obviously Jim Aparo, Neil Adams, Marshall Rogers, those type of people who revolutionized Batman in the 80s. And then you had people come in, obviously in the 90s. But I think we've been spoiled with both the stories and the artwork now. And yeah, I mean, you've got to give it to these current guys as well, like Greg Capullo.
Great.
You know, except
you know,
for
amazing
All-Star Batman, except for that, because that is pile of
I think it's just some of those stories. I think like going with Europa, I think at the time, because I think there was quite a bit of a delay on the initial release.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
So some people got a bit fed up and wasn't going to bother with it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure whether it was going to call something else at some point, like Barcelona or something.
I think it was meant to be. I'm sure when we used to do a different podcast, Rob and myself, and we covered it going up into the lead in it with the Forgot My Cape stuff. So, like, I remember us covering it, and I've got it. It's quite a, you know, it's short read, but it's really, really interesting. But you said about Neil Adams earlier on. I've got this mad book behind me. It's Batman Odyssey. And I still haven't properly read it, right? I've had a skim through to have a look. But the concept, like, you know the one I'm on about, Rob, yeah?
Yeah.
So
if I'm right, at the beginning, the thing about obviously Neil Adams is it's a bit. I think he needs certain people to ink his work now, which I think so it looks a bit crisper.
Yeah.
But some of his shots and perspectives are still just as good. I think there's one at the start of that. I'll agree with you. It is a bit madness, the book. There's like a shot where I think he's on top of like train tracks on top of a train, and it's looking that way, and it's still like a stunning shot. So, like, fair play to these guys. I mean, I'm not sure how. No, I don't want to put him, you know, late of his life, but he's got to be getting on now, Jim Aparo. Not Jim Aparo, Neil Adams.
Oh yeah, totally.
But again, I think with writing and drawing, it is a bit different. But they just let him do, you know, people like that. You know, why not give him a 6-issue run? You know. Yeah, exactly.
So. Just staying with the comics, just to give a follow-up from last week's episode. Rob, are you going to update us with Batman
the Joker War? I won't go too long.
Yeah.
This one's issue 99 obviously came out this week. This is it seems like it's the calm before the storm. I say calm, Joker's still killing people left, right, and center.
Right.
As he does. Most of his own people this time. And there's Batman's obviously got his Bat family together now.
Yeah.
And they're working together. Harley Quinn's, you know, very argumentative with Batman because she wants Joker dead, basically. Which I wanted to talk about more because I will say issue 100 is out in about 3 weeks or early October.
Okay.
But my question for you, because I was thinking, where is this going to go ultimately? And with Joker, I might like to see him be killed.
Oh.
And here's why for me.
Okay.
And I know Batman is always, there's always another way. There's always another way.
Mm.
But this guy's a massive murderer.
Yeah.
He's like in the last 6 issues or 5 issues, and that's just 5 issues, not like 100 issues or 2. He's killed so many. I'm surprised there's anyone living in Gotham. So at what point do they just go, oh, well, someone needs to. I mean, I do wonder if they are going to. And it can never be definite, can it? They can always do something.
Yeah.
And just have him, because it just gets to a point where it's just like, well, what's going on? And the book's brilliant. I'm not like, this is nothing criticism against the book. It's just about the whole Joker Batman situation of this endless thing where he gets, he gets released or he escapes and he murders another like 50 to 100 people. But no, we're not. No, we'll deal with it like we always do. Put him back. I just wonder about you guys, how you feel about that. Whether they should, at some point, he should be gone.
I'm with you to a point. Because it's going to get to a stage where it's like, how many times can you put him behind bars? How many times you can say there's going to be another way? How many times, And that's the thing. I mean, a hero is only as good as the villain, and that's being rammed around so much, okay? But the thing is as well, though, they'll find a way to there'll be a way to reset it, bring it back, and that sort of stuff. Anyways, regardless if they kill him or not, there'll be another one to take his place or something like that. I don't really mind either way if they kill him or not. But if they are going to kill him and they are going to keep it permanent, and if they do decide to bring it back, as long as it's done for the right reasons, I'm all for it. As long as it's done right. That's just how I see it.
Tom?
Yeah, it's like, to be honest with you, right? Obviously, my favorite interpretation of Batman on film, at least, is Ben Affleck, and everyone would say that he is killing people left, right, and center. So, if I was to say I wouldn't be okay with it, I would obviously not be true to my past opinions on stuff. If you can justify why it's been done, then, at the end of the day, I think it is a more realistic thing to happen as a vigilante, not as a law enforcer. Not going to get into that talk, because that is, even though we're going to go into hot topics later on, that's a hot topic that isn't within this discourse that I want to talk about. But, it's just like, as long as there's a legitimate reason, he's not just going around like a Punisher, then that's cool with me. Fine. Have a reason for it. Storytelling, let that be your guide rather than,
It could be the case that he doesn't do it.
Yeah,
I mean, like obviously I mentioned the Harley Quinn. There is a moment within this comic, spoiler, that before he goes into the factory where he knows Joker's going to be, Harley Quinn's like, I'm going in with you.
Oh.
If anything happens, I'm going to, shoot. And then he basically makes a decision because she says, you either have to stop me now or I'll be here until it ends. And he does nothing and walks away. So she's there. So I do wonder if they do.
Well, I wouldn't put it past them. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. But it also could be Joker's new girlfriend as well. That, she could do something maybe. You never know.
Because you wonder this whole Joker war. Obviously, this has happened. Like, all these terrible things happen. And the end result is just going to be, they've got him. He's coming back. To Arkham. So, we'll see. It's been like, it was just like a thought I had about it all. But still highly recommend it. Can't wait for the 100th issue. It's just going to be, we have to, like, maybe that day talk about it.
Oh, definite. So let's get on to the hot topics. There's a couple of things I want to cover. We won't go long form, just some quick sort of overview. Battison has resumed filming with the Batman, so that's good, obviously. Yes. How are we feeling 100%. About that? Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad it's something's happening. I'm glad it's moving for him. And it's just literally for the moviegoers like us who are big fans of the Batman as well. So, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm glad he's all right.
Wicked stuff.
Do you think there's any name that won't work with like Bat? Like Bat Affleck and Battison.
Battison rolls off the tongue better, I think.
What do you call Clooney?
There we go. Maybe we got it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
What about Keaton? What about Michael Keaton?
Well, you can use his like first name, I suppose, couldn't you? Batten. I don't know.
That's weak, dude.
Right. So moving on, but with still a Batman slight theme. Chad, you won't have seen it, but it's a hot topic. We got to talk about it because we did in our little WhatsApp group. The Boys episode 5 has taken a little bit of a jab at Josstice League with a little line as they were filming season 2's kind of sub-story of the Dawn of the Seven. Basically, Homelander is just being a dick as usual. And he just says his passing comment about the script having this nice uplift thanks to Joss. Obviously, he says it quite sarcastically, in context. Absolutely great stuff. How do you feel about the Boys with the way that they're sort of using eerily weird real-life circumstances to add some dark comedy to their show?
I quite like it, what they've been doing with that. I mean, it just makes it a bit more relatable, and you can connect with it on what's going on around you current as well. So it goes to show that they're using the source material, but they're having a bit of fun with it at the same time. And you can tell that they're fans as well. You can tell they clearly are fans, So really, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Rob?
Yeah, I mean, if it's one series, it's the right series to use those sort of things, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're going to be able to get away with it. You couldn't do. I mean, I was just going to say Warner Brothers doing it. There's not many other like superhero-ish type of that could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, is it purely Amazon? Is it filmed by Amazon, or is it a studio?
I don't know what Amazon's
I'm pretty sure
business model
is. I think it's Amazon Studios, though.
Yeah, it's obviously distributed via Amazon, and that is the only distribution area. That's the only platform that actually you can get the Boys. And
fair play to them, it works, doesn't it? I mean, I haven't seen it. I've obviously seen all the news about it.
Yeah.
But, like, fair play to them. Just do it. And like I said, yeah, Boys, it's a type of show that they can probably pretty much say most things. And get it.
Yeah, episode 5, man. I was going to bring it in the auditorium, but as Chad hasn't seen it, I'm not going to yet. Episode 5, there's a lot of stuff they do, which it can only be the Boys that can do things like this. Because even with that Joss line, I stopped it, had a thought to myself and went, did he just say what I thought he just said? And I rewound it, put the subtitles on, and I went, oh, you little buggers. I thought, brilliant, really, really genius stuff. Moving on from that, slightly topical, we're talking Josstice League. Ray Fisher's obviously had a very public kind of dispute with Warner Brothers in the way that things went down with the Josstice League reshoots, as I call them. And it's been a difficult time. Me personally, with the evidence that has been provided and the accounts and little bits of information that have come through, I'm on, the Ray Fisher side. I'll be honest with you with what has been presented, but I'm not here to talk sides. I'm here to just talk about the fact that Jason Momoa has now come in and shed some light, obviously, on the situation. Did you hear about that news, guys, with regards to Jason Momoa?
I think it's just definitely backing him up, isn't it? And just saying that he's not the only one who saw things.
Yeah, well, that's it. For us as fans, we have to take everything as alleged at this point. But obviously, you've got to take the word of those that are speaking it with the way, Jason Momoa seems like a very honest, obviously everyone can seem however they want on camera, etc. But, when you see them in interviews, relaxing, being themselves, stand-up dude by all accounts. Same with Ray Fisher. So when the words come out of their mouths, I tend to believe, especially with the way that they speak. So yeah, I just want justice, whatever justice means. Accountability over entertainment is obviously the tagline for everything. And I truly believe that some went down, and hopefully there can be a third-party investigation that can bring to light some of the stuff. Not for us to know. I prefer, a lot of this stuff potentially just get sorted behind the public eye at a point.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be.
You know,
I mean, hopefully they've made, you know, they've obviously made their, going against what you said there, they made their opinion public to get some sort of movement. But now things are going on. I completely agree. It needs to be sorted, and hopefully it does. You know.
Because that's the thing. The reason, you know, a lot of people don't understand why he's come out now and said stuff, but a lot of that is obviously he's tried to go through the proper avenues, and those avenues have just gone, we're going to sweep you to the side. And there's nothing more frustrating. I've been there, not on his level, but we've all been in situations at work, etc., where we brought up grievances and things haven't been, you know, dealt with properly. And, you know, I have a lot of frustration at the moment when it comes to things not being dealt properly when it comes to work. But, you know, positivity, we're going there. So I haven't seen it yet, but I hear the word on the internet is that The Mandalorian Season 2 has been released. Can someone explain to me if this is true and what has happened?
Oh, it hasn't been released.
The trailer.
Oh, the trailer has been released. And I got a bit of beef with the trailer, just a little bit of beef.
Okay.
Because I'm a part of a lot of Star Wars groups, and when I seen Sasha Banks, I was like, oh, okay. And people are saying, oh, this is going to be Sabine Wren and that sort of stuff. I was like, no, it's not going to be Sabine Wren. No. What?
I have a question. What's Sabine?
Sabine Wren is a character that was in Rebels.
Okay.
Right, okay.
I'm glad you asked, Rob, because I didn't want to...
I didn't know that one, so yeah.
Yeah, she's from Mandalore. She's got she's like an artistic sort of character where she likes to blow stuff up. She likes explosions. Well, explosions, that's all she likes to do. That's all I do. But she has the armor of the Mandalorian armor, but she's not a full-on Mandalorian. She's not part of the Watch or anything like that. She takes her helmet off. Her family, because you have different creeds, not different creeds, but different houses and family on Mandalore. But her family, and she actually became an Imperial pilot. And then she breaks away because one day she knew what it was about. But anyway, that's just her character. But when people are saying, oh, like Sasha Banks is going to be like Sabine Wren, I was like, well, no, not at all. I don't think she is. I mean, she's not even listed at all. It's a lot of speculation and so on, because they're saying about Ahsoka is going to be in it as well. And Sabine sort of goes off with Ahsoka to help find Britcher, basically. In the last episode, he sort of saves them and then goes off with these like space whales sort of thing in the last episode. So seeing the trailer, and I like the trailer, what they've done so far. I was like, yes, I'm really impressed with it. And as well, going back about 3 days ago as well, halfway through filming season 2 or something like that, or towards the end of season 2, Pedro Pascal walks out as well.
Okay, what's the history there then? What's happened?
He wanting to have scenes where his helmet is off. You know, all these actors, they want to see their mug out there.
So do we need to say allegedly, or is this like strong reports or what?
100% happened.
Okay. Yeah, because he was I think he was uncomfortable with it, wasn't he, at times on set. I think he went to actually, like from what I've read, he went to Lucasfilm and wanted them to back it up.
Yeah.
I will say, though, like the first series, he wasn't in every episode anyway. He voiced every episode. So...
It's pointless.
What is he... What's going on, really?
Make sense.
They could replace him. It's one of those characters that they could, couldn't they?
Yeah, very easily. I mean, no one's is irreplaceable. No one is, you know, so they can replace someone if they need to. And to be honest, though, I mean, it doesn't make a difference if they replace him or not. I don't want that to happen because I think he's done really quite well with the character. But what he's doing is really has done the voice mainly, and he's took his helmet off for one scene. But I do feel that actors who want their mug out there in a film, I mean, they go around with it with Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man having the old HUD display. They got around that. Carl Urban, he signed an agreement to say he's never going to take the helmet off. You had Sylvester Stallone, who took the helmet off, and so as well. A lot of
characters have to, don't they? You know, he obviously signed up to this, and they've told him this is what they do. They don't take their helmet off.
Yeah.
Surely you can't then hit series 2. Oh, I got an idea. I want to take my helmet off.
I love Dredd. Dredd with Carl Urban, that was so good.
Phenomenal.
I've got a 3D version here. It is so good.
I watched mine about a few weeks ago.
Oh, like so many
You're
good
going to have to
shots.
borrow that to me. I haven't seen the 3D one.
I'll send.
I'd love to see that.
I'll bring it over when things get better. But anyway, one last thing with the hot topics. I had to. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but did you see that Chris Evans' camera roll has got him into a little bit of trouble over the last couple of weeks?
No,
his responses have been brilliant though. Like, fair play to him. It's just
ride it, haven't you? You just got to ride it.
Yeah, you have to. So, yeah, well, if you haven't seen it,
I won't be putting it up.
What's this about anyway? I must have missed it.
Rob?
So he was, what was he?
He was, I think
he was live then, was he?
He was like screen sharing his phone camera roll and basically going through it. And he had a rather private photo in his camera roll that was, I believe, streaming somewhere. It was streaming somewhere, and obviously it's been the talk of the internet because you finally...
A lot of people supported him, haven't they, as well, and how he's reacted.
Yeah, well, look, at the end of the day, I don't want to sort of glorify or anything like that, but if you've had a camera phone, you've done it, haven't you? Like, let's be honest, we're all adults here. Like, if you're over 18, you've done it. You know,
there's nothing wrong with it, is it? Unfortunately,
I'm a bit naive here. Done what?
Taking a picture of your member. You know,
of yourself, pictures of yourself. Yeah, everybody's done that.
Yeah, you know. Anyway, before we get too X-rated, let's get on to the auditorium. Obviously, in the last episode, we were talking about the comics that we could recommend for the anticipation towards Bill and Ted. Now, Bill and Ted is out in the UK, and myself and Mr. Chad have both seen it. Rob, you haven't seen it yet, no?
No, not yet.
Just to check. Okay, well, we're going to go non-spoiler. We'll just give some overall thoughts, how we felt, etc. Chad, kick me off, good sir. How did you feel? First, going back to the cinema, how did you feel about that?
Well, the cinema we went to was no one booked tickets. When the tickets went live to book, I booked it quite quickly. And I was the first person to book. But what they've done is you when you book it, they will then do seats behind you, seats to the side, and seats to the front of you. So you got a bit of a bubble. Okay. So you got no one sitting next to you, like in the 2 meters, which I thought was a good idea. But when I rocked up, there was only me and my partner and 2 other people in the whole cinema. It was nice. It was really, really nice. So for the first hour,
they didn't sit right next to you, did they? Like a beach situation. We had like a whole freak. They went, I'm going to sit by those guys.
No, but they already sat there before us, so you have to sit in your allocated seats, the ones you book, because they'll then. And
am I right? You wear a mask throughout?
You didn't have to because you could eat because you're eating and drinking, so you can take your mask off. But I wore my mask for the whole film and removed it down a bit just to take a sip of drink and a bit of something sweet, and then back up again. At the end of the day, I mean, that's what you're gonna do, and that's why I thought I might as well do. And going to the film and. They did address the elephant in the room for me, because in the last of Bogus Journey, they had this is little Bill, this is little Ted. They addressed that as their daughters, and I thought that was a really nice touch. And I'm glad as well that the girls didn't. They had their own thing they had to do. They didn't focus too much on that, but they were good. But to be honest, my fears were true about Keanu Reeves. He didn't really act like a goofy Ted, did he?
It was so I can see what you mean. I totally get what you mean. The problem is Alex Winter was brilliant. Oof. Like, it was as if he stepped off that set of, the second film, and then just the next day came back on to film the third. And Keanu Reeves did a great. Don't get me wrong.
He did a good job.
It was fine, because at the end of the day.
Did it feel forced? Was it like, did it feel forced at all? Or?
No, it didn't feel forced. It just wasn't like his goofy sort of self that he normally has been in the other two movies. It just wasn't as, because now he's a rounded actor. He's a very rounded actor, and it just felt like he brought that to the table, not his young naive self.
Yeah,
like,
it
you know?
It felt as if he was trying to do an impression of Keanu Reeves as God. You know, it's as if he was doing an impression of himself from that era. But the thing is as well, like, what we have to understand is the character has grown. So that is also at that time. But it's...
Is that you? Like, I'm not saying that's you saying, that's an excuse why he's like that?
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm reaching. I'm trying to legitimize it, maybe. The utmost thing, right, for me... I really bloody enjoyed it, right?
Same here.
It's the nostalgic, feel-good kind of silly film everyone kind of needs at the moment. It's not
completely. That's what me and Sarah said. Exactly the same thing.
You know, it's not Oscar winning. It's the plot points you're just going, but at the same time, you don't want.
We didn't need plot points back in the day.
That's it, you know.
And it was good to see a film that was an hour and a half.
Yeah, I like long form films, don't get me wrong. But this style of film, it needs that kind of choppy, you know, just give you it, boom, you know, consume it in a little bit. You know, the film was feel good, you know? It wasn't...
Yeah, it was.
It didn't have the grungy elements of the first two films in the sense, like, you know, you could tell that...
You mean low budget? Budget.
Like grungy, you know, had a bit of grit to it, you know, because I don't recall... And this is probably a spoiler, but the 69 joke didn't come up.
No, it didn't. And it didn't say... And sorry, I'm going to say this. This is not meant to be bad in any way. They didn't say fag. You know, when they hug one another, they go fag. You know, they didn't call anything like that because times have changed and the film and the characters have changed with the times as well.
Totally. And I think that's important, yeah.
And as well, it didn't feel... out of place that it didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't. And it felt right at the same time because you can tell that Alex Winter's really worked on this script so well and he has done a very good job with it. I mean, yeah, it's got its holes in it as well, say with any sort of time-traveling film or any sort of film with that sort of thing. It's not, like I said, you said it best, it's not going to be Oscar-winning. It didn't need to be. It needed to be a fun film and that's what it gave us. And I loved it. I mean, the bit I didn't like is about having... I don't want to give a spoiler away. Having Bill and Ted had to write the song, and it wasn't just them who wrote the song, you know? And
I didn't mind that. The big gripe for me, right? I loved the stuff with the whole explaining why they never made it and the fact that them and kind of Death had a separation, artistic differences. That was brilliant, especially for myself being a musician as well and, you know, gone through those things. The only gripe I had with it, I guess, is the final song. I wish they could have done something a bit more like what they did with... because...
I was hoping that.
You know, because it was... you know, the soundtrack's out there, right? You can go and listen to it. It's kind of like an instrumental kind of thing. You don't really? You don't... Yeah, there's nothing. There's no chanty element. It's just an instrumental.
No. It's a bit disappointing.
Yeah, but again, it's fine because at the same time, you know, it's a modern take of Bill and Ted, and it's faithful to the characters they used to do, but they're also trying to portray it to a new audience. So if they went with the whole 80s hair metal stuff, I'm sure a lot of the younger generation would be like, what's going on? Why are they, you know, why have they got this type of singing over the top? What's going on? You know? So, but like ultimately, real feel-good film, like if you feel comfortable to go out there, you're a fan of the first and second, be aware it is a more commercial version, you know, follow-up to those two films. But ultimately, I had a smile on my face. I will be honest. I did cry a little bit at certain points. There were a couple of points where I had some very happy tears.
Was it the bit where they see the old booth?
Yes.
Bit with the old booth.
Yes. No, don't say about it.
No, I'm not going to say it, but that was really nice.
And there was a musical part as well, but it was just the musician in me when there was a bit of a duel happening. I loved that myself. Yeah, Chad, recommend it?
100% recommend it. Really enjoyed it. And I don't know why I'm going to say this. You might laugh at this. Missy is in it, the original Missy. But didn't she look like Tammy Stinch or Sunny as she is now?
Tammy
a little
Sitch.
Bit? Yeah.
Yeah.
She reminded me so much of her. She really did.
Yeah.
I was like going like, oh no. But I love the running joke with that. I love the whole running joke. But I'm not going to say too much on that.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. And it was really good to see Dave Grohl in it as well.
Yes. Very interesting
so
part.
Good.
Very interesting part.
Just briefly, because I watched a couple of films this week, like repeated, just ones I've seen before. I'll quickly go over them. So Hercules with Dwayne Johnson.
I've still not seen that film, actually.
No.
It's on like again, like going to those ones where you don't have to think too much about it.
Silly,
it's just a great action film. It's wicked. Like fair play to it. It is what it is. Then I've watched the remake of the Conan in 3D.
Oh, is that with Jason Momoa?
I've still not seen that either.
Jason Momoa.
I'm so
I
bad.
got that myself, and I love it. It's very close to the comics.
It's good, man. Like again, like just easy watching films.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the second time, I watched Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
It's all right, isn't it? Yeah, it feels good again.
I got emotional during that.
I know.
Because it's kind of... So
was I.
To me, it looks like it's just a love letter to his previous films, isn't it? And there's certain moments in it which just... And I was watching with my wife, and at times I had to go, right, this is from this is from that, that's that person.
Yeah.
But it's a silly film.
Immensely, but it's got a lot of heart. It's got a lot of heart.
Just such a brilliant, just emotion. It's just ridiculous in it.
It's Kevin Smith, though, you know.
And it's just like fair play to him. Like he makes gold with certain aspects of scenes and just.
You can make gold out of nothing.
Just certain dialogue. I mean, if you think like you get emotional when like Jason Mewes is like saying like a monologue or something, and that's just brilliant. If you can get like emotions off him doing it, then. I love the Affleck monologue, man. Killed me. There's all the notes in there because obviously the little girl, the Jason Mewes girl, isn't it? Within it, there's just and then obviously Matt Damon. I quite like the Matt Damon one with his like sort of like up to date. Is what I've been doing since the last thing, right? But
again, he's got a sense of humor.
Yeah, I mean, we'll maybe talk about it another time, but it's just thoroughly enjoyed it again.
I need to watch it again, actually. You've given me something to watch over the next couple of days.
I definitely enjoyed it the second time more.
You know this more, yeah.
So yeah, brilliant film. So YouTube with go with you, Tom, because what you were going to talk about tonight. Yeah,
so like obviously. I'm from the music industry, working live events, etc. It's kind of been my forte for the last 10 years. And with things how they are at the moment, the industry's gone and we can't go to gigs and we can't work myself. So I've been missing gigs, and I find that music is very kind of, explorative and, collective thing. It's nicer when you experience it with other people. So for some reason, just over the weekend, I decided to just start watching these reaction videos to people listening to songs for the first time. But it wasn't for like, classical pieces and stuff like that. It was like people listening to things like Living on a Prayer for the first time, right? Now, and I'm going, who hasn't heard Living on a Prayer? Now, I'm sure some of them were a bit more scripted and things like that. But to see someone just go, and some of them are more legit than others, and they go, this is huge. Like, oh my God. Like, and they stop it and go, oh yeah. And they go, oh, that's brilliant. do you know, I was getting a kick out of just watching other people experience it. So there's a lot of stuff, like the more obvious ones, but I've been listening to this band called Dirty Loops a lot recently, and seeing other musicians have the same kind of physical tics to myself whilst listening to the music. So what I'm trying to say here is, like, if you ever listen to music and you get the head bop, right? So you go in, right? There. Mm-hmm. And then musicians, we got this thing, like, I call it the musician's gurn. So when something's really, really filthy, right? Like a really filthy bass, and you kind of go, is that? And I know if I see other people doing that as well, that's what music does. That's what it's there for, you know? So yeah, just loads of different stuff, but it's just fascinating seeing other people.
The great stuff, dude. I've been watching it for probably close, like, I think since whole lockdown. And Amy's like comes out, and I'm watching YouTube, and like, so for certain ones that pop out to me, so people for listening to like the Righteous Brothers for the first time, or Black Betty, but and that's just amazing. Like, I'll send you the links to that. Just these people reacting to it. A lot of it's black people reacting, and they don't realize that it's a white person, a band singing that song. Yeah. But then you go, it's a great rabbit hole to go down. But
it's like, brilliant.
With the Righteous Brothers, I must have watched like 20 different people reacting to the Righteous Brothers. So I'm like, you know, and the same with Black Bay, like listening. And the best one, sometimes like Queen. And if you think that they're like, they would be more well known, but there are people that react, you know, first react to those sort of things.
I'm just trying to find, I've watched this. There's this one on YouTube that I've come across, and they have this level of charisma whilst they're clearly musicians of some sort. They've got a feel about them. What's the name of this? It's Twins the New Trend, and it's two lads, and this is the one that I watched, which was the Living on a Prayer and stuff like that. You know, it's a lot of 80s stuff I was listening to. And, you know, these are two like young guys from America. And it's just it's crazy, you know, seeing how different people are just like,
it's a nice feeling, cool. Isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, when you see someone for like, hopefully generally like for the first time, and they're so excited about like that song. It's like, I get it. It's an amazing song.
Totally.
So yeah, they're just happy videos to watch, aren't they?
Yeah, no, and it just, I don't know. I guess I was just wanting a bit of a pick me up, and it was nice to watch. And I was curious as well, because I was just like, I get excited about listening to music because I'm a musician, but to see other people getting just as excitable but in different ways, it's just nice, especially at times like this. You know, you find your own pick-me-ups however you can, innit? You know, so
I'm not going to say nothing.
Oh well, I didn't think you had anything. Come on then, Chad.
The only thing I've been sort of looking at the moment is been researching my costume on YouTube at the moment, because I'm getting a good friend of mine, Terry's helped me with the armor. That I done the helmet ready. The helmet's done.
So what's this for, Chad? What's the costume?
Give us some info. My TIE Fighter build.
Oh,
TIE Fighter pilot. So I got the coveralls all sorted. That's all done. I had to buy a belt, and I thought I had a belt punch. So a friend of mine is going to lend me one tomorrow. So I've been researching how to properly punch the belt, so I don't cock it up. So that's been my stuff at the moment. I've been watching on YouTube is stuff how to do my costume, like, you know, putting it together, layering it, and just getting a feel for it as well. And
you're doing it all traditionally this time. I say obviously because the last one you built, you had a custom sort of helmet, didn't you, for your the Welsh logo and all that sort of stuff. But this one's going to be fully sort of traditional.
Yeah, it's because you don't get no detachments. I mean, later on, I would like to buy myself another helmet so I can do Infernal Squadron or put some like grey or silver, whatever, like on the front. There's a different squadron, but you can't be you can't have like flare. It's not like the X-wing ones where you can have different color helmets and make it individual. Is you're part of a squadron, so it's like that. So I can't do anything like that with it, which is a bit of a shame. But this is the one I really want to like really just go all out the time and make it as accurate as I can, close to the film. And this one's going to be a whole new level of accuracy for me at the moment. So yeah, so I've been sourcing some more parts. I've been looking at boots, and again, custom made will cost me about 190 quid for custom made boots. But at the moment, my X-Wing ones I can reuse across for those temporarily till I get the money together. But yeah, it's coming on nicely. I got to see Terry, who's going to help me with the armor and chest box part, and put that on. Take my my overalls, and then get myself a bit more sized up so I can get it just right. So yeah, so still quite a bit to do. But it's coming along nicely.
Oh, awesome!
You have to wear it. You have to wear it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. And just yesterday, I just bought myself a hat for 80 quid.
You did share it on the group. It looks very nice, though.
From a Rebel seamstress, and he is really good. Or she's like a couple that do it, and they are proper pucker hats. But things as well, the good thing about my suit is I can wear the cover overalls, the hat, and be like an officer without the armor bits. So it's like 2 costumes in one as well. So yeah, so I mean, next podcast, when I get my hat, I can wear that on the podcast. Actually.
Totally.
So I got part of the costume ready to wear.
I look forward to it. Can't wait to see that, dude. Can't wait to learn.
It'll be done. It'll be done.
So if we are we finished in that section of chalking, lads, before we go on?
Yeah, I'll say so.
Yeah? Okay, cool. Let's go on to Let's Play. We're going to talk about some gaming, maybe some sports, maybe some wrestling. We'll see how it goes. So, guys, what have you been playing? What we got to, share this week?
Well, I've been playing, Company of Heroes at the moment on PC Game Pass at the moment. So I've been playing that. That's really nice. I've watched a few episodes of Band of Brothers, and this came out to download the other day, and I thought give it a go, and I'm actually really enjoying it. Enjoying a bit of next level RTS.
Rob, anything your end?
Not a lot this week. I mean, I've played. I've been briefly playing a bit of Darksiders 3.
Okay,
going through that again, and with the kids, I've been playing Lego World, which is pretty much just like an open world sandbox Lego game, which I don't overly enjoy. Like, it's designed very badly.
Yeah,
glitchy. It's just, but the kids love it. There's so many options for you to do stuff and, change characters, build. You can obviously build your stuff in a sandbox mode, but you obviously have certain sets as well where you can just like click and then build a.
Yeah.
So they've been doing a lot of the Ninjago stuff, and yeah, it's good fun. But it's just frustrating sometimes, like how glitchy it is, where your character just gets stuck, and you're like, work it, nice one.
Oh god!
But lots of problems with it. But the kids, I don't understand it sometimes. They just continue to play it, and how frustrated. Like we've all probably got frustrated in the past about glitchy games and stuff like that.
Oh, too right. I used to play the old WCW PlayStation games, so I know what it's like.
Yeah, look at those ones. Yeah,
God. Attitude the Attitude game on the PlayStation 1. That wasn't.
No, I will fight you to the death. Those Attitude and Warzone games, they were ahead of that. They don't play like wrestling games. This goes on to something I'm about to talk about.
It was a simulator than anything else.
Well, this is the thing. So I've been playing a lot on my Nvidia Shield TV, okay? So this is a smart TV capability of 4K output, etc. I've only got a TV that works in 1080, so I don't get the 4K option. So you can do all your normal stuff, your YouTubes, all the smart apps from the Android store, But for me personally, what's really, really cool is the emulation possibilities. So being a kid of the 90s, I was born in 1991. So I grew up, my first console technically would have been a Game Boy. Ultimately, home console would have been a PlayStation. So I'm able to, obviously play games that I've owned and still own. So via emulation, there's some great stuff out there. So I've got PlayStation, Dreamcast, Nintendo 64, the sort of handheld consoles as well. And I'll be honest with you, with that range that I've just said now, anything up until the higher spec from those consoles, you're golden. which for me is what I've been doing. So I've been playing stuff like your WWF at the time, Attitude, your Warzones, things like that.
What about in your house in the WrestleMania
in your house,
arcade?
so like in your house, it holds a dear place to my heart, and this does bring me on to something I was going to talk about actually in a bit. But yeah, in your house, it was obviously made by Midway, so it was developed by Midway, who did the Mortal Kombat games, which is why obviously they went for the over-the-top arcade style wrestling. And
video capture.
Video capture, yes,
right.
sorry, yes, sorry. Thank you for the correction there, Chad.
It's okay. I'm here to correct you on.
That's what you're here for. But yeah, it's that big, larger than life. You know, going back and playing the older games, I've been playing all the old FIFA games and stuff like that. John Loom with rugby, being a Welshman, obviously rugby's in my blood, so great stuff. But I've been playing, you know, the old comic book games and stuff as well. But as you were saying about in your house and stuff like that, there's a new WWE game out. It came out over the weekend, I believe, called WWE Battlegrounds. I don't know if you've seen it, Chad, at all.
I have. Not playing it. I'm not going to play it.
So
it's not my cup of tea.
I know it's not your cup of tea, but it looks totally down my alleyway. So it's got that larger-than-life, very, very similar to WWE All-Stars, if you remember that, Chad.
Yeah, I do remember. I got that.
I still play to this day.
I did play it because I was interested, and I battered it, done it, and I was like, I never went back to it again because it wasn't for me.
So I'm very intrigued by it, but at the moment, I don't know if I can warrant the $34.99. Well, I can't at all.
It's gonna be a bargain bin before I will pick up, or if it comes free on Xbox Live, whatever, you know.
It's getting very good reviews online. I'll tell you that much. The sort of story concept, the game mechanics, very larger than life. There's things where you can like chuck your wrestlers out of the ring and into like alligators that are surrounding the ring and stuff like that. And it's a bit mad, very crazy. Everything is exaggerated. It's just a type of big fun wrestling game, which I think is quite cool. But on to wrestling, because this does come into Let's Play. Chad, how do you feel about, you know, the sports entertainment without a crowd at the moment?
First of all, it is very weird. Being in the, when WrestleMania hit, it was a bit of a hard thing because you could really hear the hits. You can't really sort of hear anything at all. It is just the characters. And to be honest, I said this to Sarah when we were watching, because they could have had a simulated crowd, just the sound in the background, a bit more simulated, and they could have raised it, lowered it for pops, you know, just to give that simulated thing. And I was thinking, it just didn't have it, but we still enjoyed WrestleMania. We still watched it. Then they had I call them, they were actors in the crowd. You know, when all the t-shirts of their favorite wrestlers, for me, they were wrestling plants, and I didn't care for that at all. Didn't like it. It was too forced, and it was a way of shifting merchandise. Because basically, some people have custom-made like face masks of their favorite wrestlers and the t-shirts.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt ones are The Fiend are very popular at the moment, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I was like going, this is just, no. I didn't mind it being empty, but this was something that I just couldn't swallow. And then they brought in the TV monitors. And I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. I mean, they had someone was dressed as
what do they call it now? The Thunderdome or something? Is that what they call it?
Thunderdome, yeah. I mean,
Thunderdome.
They had people in there as well, and I did chuckle at stuff like that. But I think as a whole, from the empty arena, which I didn't mind too much, it was, like I say, it was hard to swallow. But when they have those wrestling people there, the people standing up and social distancing and banging on the thing, I didn't care for any of that at all. But the Thunderdome with the screens, that's the way forward. And that was really good. I thought that was very innovative. I loved it.
How do you feel about wrestling without crowds, Rob?
So I'll take it on respect, you know, with watching the football.
Yeah.
And without the crowd. And the football tends to work, you know, without the crowd.
Yeah.
My question about wrestling is obviously... Yes, like footballers do a job, wrestlers do a job, but footballers are doing, you know, it's not acting as such, you know,
there's
entertainment.
Yeah.
But you feel that wrestlers work off the crowd more.
Totally.
Yeah.
That sort of atmosphere and that like sweat and that just everything. And are they going to be able to do their job 100% with no crowd?
I think it's been very difficult for them, I'm sure, underneath the hood, as they say. But I think overall, they've done the best they can with the really difficult circumstances. For me, as a viewer, I personally, as a performer, love the energy you get off a live crowd. It is a performance, medium of entertainment, isn't it? It's got that competitive aspect to it, and it ain't ballet, but it's physical stuff. You know what I mean? But it needs. You almost feel as if the performers, they deserve a crowd, because they put in their bodies through a lot for for entertainment's sake. But yeah, it's difficult. It's going to be interesting when they start allowing crowds properly back in.
Green screen, but the red, your shoulders are disappearing.
Yeah, I know.
Into the back.
Amazing. Oh God. So Chad, you've got one extra bit to add to the Let's Play that I completely forgot about. Take it away, sir.
Just want to go through basically about the pre-orders for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox X Series S and the digital systems. Prices don't look too bad. I was expected to be around about this prices anyway. So I'll go for the PlayStation first of all. So just bring up the speed. So I'm not going to go through the dollars. I'm just going to keep it to the UK prices. So you got the digital, okay, because they're doing two consoles. Each one's doing two consoles, okay? Yeah. PlayStation are not doing like a lesser version like what the Xbox is doing for their S.
Okay.
Which I don't understand why they're just doing one with a disc drive, one without.
Yeah.
So the disc drive system, I think they've really missed the mark on their digital one. Okay, it's £365. Oh no, 360 quid for the digital. Okay, they haven't said about the game markup yet, what the game's going to be on the digital yet, and this is why this is the thing. I always have a problem with digital games. We touched on this last week in the last podcast anyway. So, but I'm just gonna move on from that. Good thing about the PlayStations, all old stuff like your VR headset and stuff like that will work on this, which is really good. That's cool. Like that. But it only works with the PlayStation 4 backwards compatible. So PlayStation 3, 2, 1, nothing. But that's why they're going to get you with the HD stuff and get some coin out of you, which I really disapprove of. I think it's a really dirty tactic. But end of the day, that's it. Then you got the price of $450 for the non-digital version with the disc drive. Okay, and it is a 4K drive. Brilliant. That's really, really good. So spec-wise, exactly the same.
It's not much difference then, really, is it? You're worth buying the disc drive, aren't you?
Yeah, you are. For that sort of difference between the two, you might as well go for the disc drive. I mean, if you haven't got the room and you're going to have to buy digital stuff, then yeah, you're going to have to buy digital stuff. I mean, I've been battling with this myself, but because I got so much back catalog, I need to go disc drive. I need to, because I got so much back catalog. And I want to get rid of my Xbox, my One, and I want to get rid of my 360 because I still got those and I still use them when I can. So, going to the PlayStation prices. So you got the $250 for the Xbox Series S, which reminds me of the original shape anyway. So it is a slimmer version spec-wise, but not by much. Then you got the price of $450 anyway for the current one. So when it comes to price markup, there is no real difference between the ones with the disc drives for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. Okay. For me, I mean, I got myself a kick-ass PC, as you all guys know. We said in other podcasts. I got a kick-ass PC, so really at the moment, I don't need to get the new consoles. But I will get myself the Xbox X Series first. I will get myself that because I want to get rid of my old consoles, and plus my disc drive on my old system is starting to go slowly. Yeah. I've had it since launch, and now it's starting to go. So I had it for about 8 years now. Wow. So she's done well for me. So... And the good thing as well, though, you're getting more backwards compatible, you're getting the games pass, you're getting all that included with the EA stuff as well. So I really think, as a model, I think the Xbox is a better value for money. It's got better spec, and it's gonna have all round. People out there, the PlayStation fanboys are gonna try and shoot me down. That's fine. At the end of the day, it's personal preference, but the system is a better system. But the only thing that's gonna really say between the two is what games you want to play. I mean, I've always been a firm believer of this. I like my Xbox, I like my PlayStation. I like them both. I love my PC, got my Switch, got a Raspberry Pi. So I'm okay for games. I'm fine. But for me, the backwards compatibility is a big draw for me. The Xbox Live is a big draw for me. I got my friends on it as well. I've been on Xbox since day one. I got rid of my PS2 for the original Xbox, and I never looked back since. There's been a time when I almost did, and I stay true with that. I'm not going because Xbox and Microsoft, that's the best. No, for me at the moment, just let the exclusives, let's do the talking between the two systems. No console is better. It's just what games you want to play. And I leave it as that. That's always been my argument. I've never say one's better than the other and so on. And I hate the whole argument. But as prices go, I think they are pretty good prices, especially for a lot of tech. Well, and then you got the new graphics cards come off for the PC in the next couple of months, as well. That's blown away the consoles out of the water. The Nvidia 380, 360, I can't remember the name of it, and that's blown out of the water. I would like to get that, but that's £600 for a graphics card. So if you say £600 for a graphics card compared to say $450 for a complete console, do the math. You know,
like you said, think how long we own these consoles for.
Oh yeah, you get like a good 8 to 10 years. I mean, PlayStation 3, we had about 12 years out of it, roughly.
Was it that long?
Yeah, it was about that. It was definitely over 10 years.
Well, it's interesting you were saying about the prices and stuff, right? Because I remember I was always a Sony kid growing up, but over the last few generations, I've sort of gone over to the Xbox side. Now, I always remember Sony being the more affordable option and Xbox being the more luxury when they first came out. The Microsoft option was the more expensive. But it seems as if now they've gone and flipped and...
Definitely have.
You know, the Xbox is the more affordable console, which is interesting. Another thing I was going to ask you, and this opens out to both of you, obviously, do you feel that the console exclusive content is that important these days, though? Because a lot of these big A-list titles tend to be on both consoles. I know...
I can answer that quite easily.
Yeah.
Very, very easily. I mean, sorry to cut you off there, Tom. I do apologize.
No. It's why I'm asking it, dude.
When I worked in game, what was it? Dreamcast just came out. But before the Dreamcast came out, they had the pre-orders. And we were doing really good... I love the Dreamcast.
Still got mine.
I wish I kept mine. I wish I kept it. And I got it on my Raspberry Pi now, and I got a few games. And I love the Sega Saturn. I love the Sega systems. But the thing is, though, the whole exclusives has been like this for years and years and years. And I've never been a big fan of the whole exclusives. I'm just not a big fan of it. But when the console came out, this is, like I said, go deviating just a tiny bit. When the Dreamcast came out and it was all in the pre-orders, about 2 weeks before launch of the Dreamcast, this is where the sales, before even sales come up, they plummeted. We had people refunding. Sony went PS3, I think it was. And was it PS3? Yeah, PS3. Was it PS3? I can't remember. Must be
PS2, I think, at that time.
Yeah,
it must have been, yeah.
I was working in game, and we had people coming back in, refunding their thing, and wanting to do their pre-order for the PlayStation 2. That killed Sega completely.
The Dream, I've seen loads of stuff on the Dreamcast. You know, it's,
and the things as well. Even happened with the Sega Saturn. I mean, the Sega Saturn was a better system than the PlayStation, but Sony would start buying up properties.
Yeah, just limited games, though. Unfortunately, then, weren't they? For the other
and they starved other consoles.
Yeah,
and I really do. I don't like that underhanded tactic. I mean, I'm a gamer, so I will get the games I want to play. So until I see about 4 or 5 games on the other system that I want to play, then I'll get it. I mean, the main reason I got myself the PlayStation 4 was for the VR, because at the time I couldn't afford my PC with the VR, and I wanted Spiderman, I wanted Delights. Just a couple of the games. That was about it.
Spiderman, man, 100%. Because I'm at an age where I don't. I've been Xbox for years. I've not owned a PlayStation for a long time. But with the exclusives, there's certain ones which do entice you. And Spider-Man was just like, I am missing out on that. But at the same time, it's fine. I've got enough to play with.
Yeah.
On these consoles, especially when, we are Game Pass holders and you have Xbox Gold, you've got enough choice.
Yeah, you have.
And then when you relate that to PlayStation, I think they announced that they weren't on the new console. They're not going to do anything like that. For like a Game Pass thing, which I think is unfortunate. I think they've got a very good opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think
especially
Sony
with their exclusive games.
Yeah, I think Sony are really missing a trick at the moment. And I mean, you'll still get people that will buy it because of habit. You are going to get people that the long-haired fans are going to buy it regardless. And like I said, I might get some hate towards, and I'm fine with the hate, and I will respond to people. I'm not going to say like one console's better than the other. I'm not going to do any of that because that's not what I'm about.
It's different strokes for different folks at the end of the day, isn't it?
Exactly. Like, I'm not here to tell you what you should buy or you put money on. At the end of the day, I mean, it's a whole argument. Like, one's better than the other. I mean, let the games speak to you for you to buy that system. I
will say with the S series, they have said that it's not going to be fully capable of playing the new generation of games. So it's like a downfall for that.
I don't know to a degree. I don't know. I mean, for £250, you'll be spending some good money, and you still better play the decent games, upscaled anyway. Regardless,
well, I think, like we said, we'd rather have that sort of 4K, that 3D Blu-ray player. Why not pay for that and have that in there? And it's a complete like family console, isn't it? You've got everything you. In that one tin. I
think for people who are not real hardcore gamers, I think the S is going to fit into their house really well. People are not hardcore gamers. People who are hardcore gamers, then the X series will do that. It's almost like the X series is like the the Project Scorpio, like the Xbox X. It's like that again to that degree. So I think hardcore will go one way and softcore gamers who want to do the family stuff and play now and again.
That's an odd analogy to go with there, Chad. I'm just
so you got a family console and you got the hardcore game.
I do not condone any form of core with your family. Okay, I'm just putting it out there.
But that's how I see it with the two consoles. That's how I see it. And to be honest, though, I am still thinking about pre-ordering the X. I am still thinking about it because I got a nice system, but I got some money I can save up for. I got half the money for it, so I'm thinking, I might just do it. I want that bazooka. I want that bazooka on my shoulder.
So let's get into the final section then. Let's get into the Kryptonite Delights. Rob, you wanted to kind of start us off with something, yeah? So take it away, sir.
Yeah, we mentioned before, we've got this WhatsApp group that we bounce off certain things, and we talk about a lot of nostalgic items and toys especially. So going into that, I was wondering with you guys, I'll tell you what my view on it. But growing up, I'm not going to say I wasn't privileged and being able to get toys, but I got a lot of toys from my parents and stuff like that. For me, I got more action figures than the actual play sets and all that sort of stuff. So I used to go around people's houses and I'd go, they've got that, they've got this.
Yeah. So
my question is, and I'll say what my answers are, but is there certain toys that you wanted but you never got? So for instance, for my first one was the Ghostbusters toys. I got a lot of the action figures, but Ecto, I didn't get those in. But the one thing for me was the trap. Yeah. The ghost trap. I so wanted that. And I remember going into catalogs and writing down saving money and just being able to just throw it out and capture ghosts. I never got in the same with He-Man, being able to get more of the play sets like Castle Grayskull. And so it doesn't matter now, but you just wanted those things, didn't you? And that's when I looked to Blue Peter, where they made you could build the turtle sewer
Oh,
with, like,
Trading Island. I remember when they did that.
stuff like that. And that's what I did with my Turtles things. I wanted the sewer sort of lair, so they did ones with like ice cream tubs where you had cut out certain things and made it, and that's what I did. So I just wondered, were you guys, what were your things that you wanted as a child but you never got?
Go on, Chad. Take us away.
No, you go first. You go first on this one.
Okay, so like there's two things. It's kind of awkward because I can't think of anything like a normal thing, as in a what you would say a toy. But as we were talking about gaming consoles and stuff like that, I always was Sony, as I said, but I was always really envious of people that had an N64. So up until a year and a half ago, I'd never owned an N64. So
dude, it's like you're living in poverty.
But the thing is though, dude, right? This is the thing.
So much joy, that console.
In the valleys, an N64 it was like that's from across the sea. That's not stuff that we buy over here because you don't get it. You didn't see it in your local shops and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So like what I did, I went out and I've got my purple one.
Oh, well, you just upgraded though. I just had the standard black.
So yeah, I went for the purple one.
Such an amazing console. That.
So good. So good. And obviously people saw the EverDrive cartridge that I've got there, which again supports the option to play ROMs that you obviously own the cartridges of. I just find it easier having the actual cartridge.
I will say the do you remember the 64? I think it was Double D. I think it was called. That they only released. And if you look at the bottom of the console, you've got a place where you can put another console on top.
Yeah.
And it never got over here, did it?
CD drive, wasn't it?
It just like that's just amazing, like what they were doing at the time. But like I had that over the PlayStation.
Did you? So I was the other way around. See. PlayStation day one, my family. I was very lucky, very, very lucky.
Because I'm trying to think whether it was. I would have thought the PlayStation was probably dearer because of the CD.
It was just
the games were more expensive. You're looking about 60 to 80 quid a game for the cartridge. And the games were more expensive.
Yeah, I always thought.
So I remember Diddy Kong Racing was about 50 quid, 54 quid maybe at the time, was it? Like Diddy Kong Racing and stuff like that?
54.99. I remember saying that in game when I worked in game. 54.99 launch title.
It was just a rare console. All my friends, they were all PlayStation. None had kind of N64 was not something you got in the valleys, unfortunately. So that's why I never did. And the only other thing that I can remember, and this is like, it's a bit of a stupid one, but I was about 12 years old. And we were going to Disneyland Paris as a family. My mother used to take my brother and I via Diamond Coach holidays, going all the way from Southwest Wales on a coach full of 35 people, all the way to Disneyland Paris. You can imagine.
Like hell. That sounds like hell.
It's the wonderful things we used to do, and I thank my mother wholeheartedly for the experiences that she gave us, because we had some wicked memories. But I remember this one time where we called in Lidl Amer services up on the M4, right? And they used to have like this geek shop in there, right? Now, I don't know what it would have been. It would have been, I don't know, a Forbidden Planet-y type shop, but in a services. Really odd, right? But time and a place. And I remember the first X-Men film had just come out, and I'd really dug Cyclops because I liked the 90s cartoon Cyclops as well. So obviously I was not at an age where I didn't have a concept of money, and some would argue that I still don't have a concept of money. However, I saw basically these were Cyclops replica like visors, right? And I remember, cool. But the thing is, I didn't realize they weren't a toy, right? So that was always my kind of, because I asked my mother and begged, and she was like, look, you're just not getting it. This isn't a toy. This is like grown-up toy stuff. not.
I love
not
that she
for
knows
you.
that grown-up toys, that there is something as grown-up toys.
Yeah, well, back in the day, like, whatever.
Grown-ups can have toys too.
When's this? So what was X-Men? 2000? 2000? It was around about then, wasn't it?
But just before 2000, I think it was.
I tell you what, though, that makes me feel old with you saying you're going as a kid.
Because Spiderman, the Amazing Spider-Man, did a crossover with X-Men, so it was roughly around about that time.
Yeah, hold on now. X-Men cartoon or X-Men film you on about?
Cartoon, I'm on about the cartoon. Sorry.
Yeah, because I'm just looking here now, right? X-Men, the original, 2000. So I would have been 9.
Oh, I'll tell you what, you need to, that's just too young.
I would have been 9. So obviously my concept of seeing a replica of James Marsden's Cyclops being at something like 160 quid and not understanding that, but
I want it.
I want it. And she's just
and you hope it works as soon as you put it on.
Well, yeah, exactly. Dude, I remember buying the Spider-Man web blasters and foolishly...
Is that the city screen?
Yeah, exactly. But foolishly thinking, right, I'm going to jump here now and this is totally going to just fall in my ass or whatever, afterwards. Oh, that's a 10-foot jump I should not have tried. That's my kind of level of toys that, I long for, I guess. Chad, I've spoken enough. Tell us about this is your section. Come on now.
Where do I start? That's the thing, basically. For me, was
in the beginning.
Well,
go on.
I'm a massive Masters of the Universe fan. That's my toy line, which I collect, and I nearly got all of them. The only thing I'm missing is, which has always been a holy grail of mine, Eternia. Because that was only in America only, and you couldn't get over here, and I was like, I really want it. Then I got out of toys, and then a friend of mine had Centurions. That's something I really, really love. I love the cartoon, love that. I had dabbled in a bit of Mask a little bit, but I didn't really sort of get much into Mask. I did enjoy the toys, enjoy the cartoons, but they were expensive toys. They were really expensive. But and Visionaries, and that's another toy that I didn't get. And Jason the Wheeled Warriors, which was repackaged. So the Lightning League, that was repackaged, and then a cartoon came out. Those are the main toy lines which I always wanted to get. I mean, I got a pretty good toy collection. You
can come and play with my Visionaries if you want.
I loved them so much. I mean, it was such a good, solid toy line.
Yeah.
Even though
we
they
only had a
repackaged,
couple of figures, but they were so nice.
Well,
the little hologram, and on the staff. It's just you hadn't seen anything like that.
No, not at all. And it was just so groundbreaking. I mean, Thundercats came out, and don't get me wrong, I like the toys, but they just didn't float my boat. Same with the Turtles toys; it didn't really float my boat enough. I did like the real Ghostbusters toys, the ones you talked about earlier on. I did, but for me, it was always been the main toy line I always wanted was Centurions. Was that, and a couple of play sets from the Masters of the Universe stuff, but that was the pinnacle for me. And at the moment, I'm trying to get the money together so I can get the set of that. That's something that I'm going to slowly do over a couple of years if I can afford it. But the way things are going, the way things are changing, the moment, I'll never ever get those in my collection. Never ever. And that for me,
we'll help you out. I'll look out for something.
It makes me sad that I'll never ever get those in my collection. All I want is just the core characters. Jake Brockwell, Ace McCloud, and Max Ray, Hacker, Doc Terror. I want them. I really do want them, and I don't think I ever will.
Oh,
don't, mate. You can't end on a downer. No.
Mate,
we will get it for you.
I'm not paying the royalties for the sad Hulk theme, right, to be played at the end of this.
It is just like that, but that is just one toy line that I always wanted, and the little.
Do you know what I was going to talk about?
11-year-old child inside of me.
I'm glad I didn't. I was going to bring my figures. I'm so glad
you got them. Have you got them?
I've got Centurions, yeah.
See a grown man cry live on Chocoboa.
If you ever sell them, mate, you let me know. Please give me a first option on them if you ever sell them.
I'll ask the girls. They love play with them.
Talk about burn.
But no, like, dude, I've seen them. I've seen him loose at conventions.
Yeah.
Before. Definitely. I'll tell you what, this is a podcast promise. It's a PP.
Oh.
We are going to find them, and get them for you. You can't have someone's childhood spoilt, can we, on the show?
No, that's true. That's true. Let's get a lift to finish off. We've got we got one more thing to show, or three more things that are part of one thing that we need to show you. And that's, well, Rob, you're already sporting your end of the one thing. Explain what we're talking about. Come on, tell us about these stylish or wonderful caps that we've got here.
So I'm wearing, it's a friend of ours called Dan, and he has started an Etsy shop on called Popper Caps, which you can follow him on Instagram.
Yep.
He does a lot of caps. He also does a lot of customs, which he does well on. So I had this done, a couple of months ago now. Spray paint, all that sort of stuff. But like one, I would say the caps are very nice to wear. Like I wear them literally to train, to take the kids to school, and plus the lovely design. And obviously, you two have also bought some Popper caps. So we need to give a big up.
I'm going to get another one done. I'm having one done as my tattoo.
I can tell you one thing. This
I'm going to get
nice.
that one done. I'm going to get that done on here as well. That's
mine is very reflective of the light that I've got in here. Jesus.
It is the bat signal within.
It's like a mirror.
It is, yeah. Fair play. He's done a good job there. God, I'll be seen at night with that, won't I?
No, he's done great jobs on him. I think we'll put the link in. But yeah, check him on Instagram, Popper Caps. Every morning he's pretty much working and doing a new cap. So yeah, definitely check him out.
I love that. His Joker one is amazing. Love the Joker
he's
one.
done some great stuff, But no, yeah, as Rob was saying, Popper Cap, we'll put the links all down here. Some great stuff there. It's some great stuff they're doing, and for us, it's supporting a local business, which is what we're trying to do at this current time. So, with that in mind, boys, we're coming to the end of the chalk-in session. Anything you want to sort of end with, and where can people find you, etc.?
You can find me on Instagram as Movie Goons, and on Instagram as Toy Therapy, and on YouTube and as Toy Therapy as well. And I got some new content up as well, some Star Wars figures if you want to have a bit of a quick look. The Beskar armor, had to do a review of that, and that's been great.
Rob?
For me, it's just one place, Instagram, Pisca Vita. And come and join me. Just have a bit of fun with the kids and comics.
Ah, nice. And with myself, I'm on Twitter, Neon Tinted. You will be able to find us on Twitter. You'll find us on Instagram. And obviously, if you're watching this, it's probably on YouTube. The Chocoboa. Diolch yn fawr. Noswaith dda. Good night all. Have a good one.